Good morning, you're very welcome back. Now, just a word of warning, the next segment will touch on some pretty heavy topics and viewer discretion is advised. We're going to, of course, talk about Adrian Moynihan, died 25 years ago this week at a nightclub in Cork city centre.
His family have been campaigning ever since for a full public inquiry into his death. His father, Andrew, and brother, Alan, join us now. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Alan, what happened to Adrian 25 years ago?
Adrian went out with his friend and ended up going to a nightclub, and they had discussions about entry, and Adrian was talking with those bouncers and the owners of the club, and one of the bouncers actually said something to Adrian, and Adrian lashed out, and when he did that they dragged him in the door, and Adrian never came out alive again.
Andrew, as a dad, it's every parent's worst nightmare.
Oh God, yes. And unless you've been in that position, you can only surmise what it is like, but you don't really know. My wife has never went to town since then. I would take her into Specsavers to get her glasses renewed, but other than that, she would never go to town.
This is in Cork City.
In Cork City.
This happened 25 years ago in Cork City. So, Adrian, I know there's CCTV footage of this incident. Adrian and his friend trying to go to a nightclub, like we all have, and a bouncer kind of saying, "Not tonight, lads," or whatever. And Adrian, he said he lashed out, so something happened between the two of them. And then he never came out again.
Yeah.
There was...
So when they were talking...
Yeah.
Adrian was actually with the owner of the club, and he shook his hand. It was a very, very kind of an easygoing conversation. But the demographic changed when one of those door staff stepped down from the step. He whispered into Adrian's ear, stood behind Adrian, encircling him, almost entrapping him. Whatever was said changed the whole demographic, and Adrian lashed out. And when he lashed out, a door opened from the inside, a fire escape door, and someone else came out. There was 4 of them latched around his body, dragged him through the door, not only once but twice, because Adrian managed to escape back out over the threshold. And they continued forcing him in. They thumped him. We believe they bit him. We believe they kicked him. And they took the life from him in the manner that they held him on the floor. Adrian was in a prone position, belly down.
The guards arrived 17 minutes later after the start of this incident. And Adrian was taken to hospital. Yeah. And he was pronounced dead?
Yes, he was pronounced dead at hospital. Now, the reason we believe he was pronounced dead at hospital because there was nobody qualified to pronounce him dead at the scene.
And what was his cause of death? His
cause of death originally was recorded as asphyxiation.
Okay.
But 12 months afterwards, when we went to the coroner's court and all the CCTV and statements were released, the Deputy State Pathologist Marie Cassidy changed her evidence to restrained asphyxiation due to the manner in which he was held with his arms tied behind his back.
The DPP made a decision on this, that they would not prosecute anyone in the case. How difficult is that to come to terms with?
You just can't believe it. A young lad in the best of health goes in the door and never comes out alive again. Like, someone is responsible. Like, we didn't even get a day in court to challenge those people. Like, I mean, if you stole a bar of chocolate, you're brought up for something. Yeah. And if you take a life, nothing.
We can't understand why there's no prosecution, and the DPP refused to tell us why also. Now, it's law, through European law, that they have to tell you now since 2019, but retrospectively they're not telling us, and they still won't.
And what you've been campaigning?
Yes.
25 years, Alan. What are you campaigning for?
Well, at the moment we're looking to have the coroner's court findings overturned, because we disagreed then, and we still disagree, that misadventure is not the correct term for the cause of Adrian's death. Like, we think of misadventure as an accident, that something that went wrong. Do you know, you went out and I often use a person hand gliding the fall to their death. Like, you went out there knowing there was some chance of injury, maybe not death, but that's an accident. The law says that misadventure is in the act of a lawful act and a legal act. We dispute that. We're saying that it was not legal what they did to Adrian. They forced him in that door. That wasn't legal. They held him in a position that prevented his body from breathing, prevented his lungs from working. That's not legal. They held him in that position for just under 20 minutes until the Gardaí arrived. There's no due care given there, none whatsoever.
What was he like? Tell us your memory of him.
He was a lovable rogue, you know. He was everyone's friend. Now, going back to that night, Adrian wasn't going into the club because Adrian went down with a couple of lads and one of the lads had runners on him and Adrian gave him his shoes. So Adrian wasn't going in.
So is that one of the lads could get in?
So
because back then you never get into a club with runners on. Like we're talking 25 years ago. Like you just never got in with.
No, and Adrian gave him his shoes and took his runners. Adrian was going home, and you could see on the videotape him shaking hands with the owner like that's the end of it. Couldn't.
He was
Somebody whispered something into his ear.
Yes, and one of the bouncers.
Obviously, you have no idea what was
some
said.
derogatory remark, like
But something to force him to lash out.
Yes,
That's what you just. There's something doesn't add up for you.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
He was 23.
He was 23 6 days before he died, and he died on Mother's Day. So his birthday was last Friday, his anniversary is next Thursday, and Mother's Day was last week. So there's quite a lot there in that week for this year for us all again.
How's your mum?
Well, my mum and dad are fantastic people. They surprise us every day with the strength that they show, but it has taken its toll on them both, and they're very proud people, so a lot of people don't see that.
In 2007, there was a settlement at an incident, after this nightclub incident, when the security staff admitted that their negligence
That's correct.
led to Adrian's death.
Yes.
Did that provide any solace to you at all, Andrew? No?
Not at all.
No.
Not.
Did that kind of stick the boot in a little bit more?
Yes. Yes.
Did it?
Exactly. Yes. They're admitting their responsibility, and there's nothing being done about it.
Have you ever met the bouncer, the owners of the nightclub?
No.
And you got the CCTV footage, but it was in retrospect of what actually happened.
Yes.
It was some 12 months later when we went to the coroner's court, because the coroner's court was going ahead and needed all the facts and figures, but we didn't have them. The State Pathologist didn't even have them and had come to her conclusions, which was Marie Cassidy at the time, Deputy State, and the coroner then, Marie Cassidy, made an order that all that stuff would be released. We had written hundreds of letters at that stage through our legal team to the state looking for that information, and we were declined the whole way. We were stymied every step of that road, and we found that very unhelpful as well from the state again. You know.
Andrew, it's 25 years. You lost your little boy.
Yeah. He's always that age to us and that face.
Yeah.
He never grew up like all my other kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose I just think we all remember going out.
Yes.
It's just the most normal thing in the entire world. You just thought he went out on a night out. And I know that you've kept this fight going for 25 years. How is life for you?
Life is good until it comes up, you would hear a song that he sang or something like that, or some kind of a saying that he said, and then you go back to
you go back immediately to everything.
Yeah.
Well, what would it mean for you and your wife and family if the death did get reclassified?
Oh, it would mean the world to us. It would mean the world to us, because we got recognition then for his death. Like, someone is going to be responsible.
Yeah, like our Adrian's case is very similar to the Stardust case. We have departments that make mistakes, and the department made a mistake in our case, as well as many others, including the Stardust, and we just want them to come back out, reinvestigate it, and come to a better conclusion. Like we had a jury at that coroner's court, and they didn't adjudicate. They were advised by the coroner on the day, this is what I think you should say. It is misadventure. And they just went along with that, which we think is not fair either. If you have a jury, they should read over all the facts and come to their own conclusion. Furthermore, there should be nothing disallowed from your findings, such as unlawful killing, which we believe should have been on the table all the time as well. And the coroner is saying the law dictates that you can't do that. Now, we know it was overturned in the Stardust case. But if you have a fact-finding mission such as a coroner's court, which is to find the who, the where, the when and the how, and if you remove any one of those, you're not doing a service to that person or that family and to the greater community, because you're not allowing the truth to be told or found out.
And we know that Thursday, obviously, as you mentioned, is the anniversary, and we're just thinking of your whole family, 25 years. And our best wishes to you, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
And talking to us about your son, Adrian. We really do appreciate it. Alan and Andrew Moynihan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, guys.
And if you have been affected by any topics discussed on today's show, you can always visit virginmedia.ie/helplines.